Napoleon I, Charles de Gaulle, or the Two World Wars. Take your pick. On the first full day in Paris, the footsteps of Ernie Pyle's students ventured to Musée des Invalides to explore French history. Containing some of the globe's most admired collections, the museum sits at the crossroads of exquisite Paris scenery. With the help of our audio guides, our group was able to connect individually to information about art, war, and architecture. We could pick and choose what exhibits to see and which segments to listen to, creating a more personal tour. We were filled with chatter at first, but as we wandered into the other departments, we soon became silent and engaged. Some of the world's greatest military art and history was unfolding in our ears and in front of our eyes, all at the click of a button. I first entered the dome, amazed by the beautiful architecture. The Royal Chapel took almost 30 years to build and became a military pantheon during the reign of Napoleon Bonaparte. As I looked up at the murals outlined in gold, all I could wonder is, how long did that take, and where can I get one? They were absolutely stunning. Beneath the dome, there was space for Napoleon's tomb. According to legend, the monument is set up so you are either on the lower level, looking up in awe of the emperor, or bowing down to him in the upper level. True or not, the tomb was a beautiful sight to see. Made of a rare stone, the tomb contains 5 coffins where Napoleon now lies in a green uniform. About the size of a car, it stood tall on emerald granite, surrounded by 12 statues that represented his victorious campaigns. Near the back of the crypt, a statue of the emperor hovers over the tomb, clad in the symbols of the empire. It was an interesting breadth of Napoleon's power at the time, Junior Catherine Scholes said. It was both beautiful and intimidating, which I guess was probably the point. I couldn't agree with her more. After leaving the dome, I spent most of my time in the contemporary department of the Two World Wars. The exhibit was massive, consisting of 4 levels of French military history from 1881 to 1945. From military uniforms to paintings to personal letters and maps, I could have spent the entire day deciphering French captions. While all were intriguing, it was a tiny yellow Star of David in a glass case that caught my eye. It was so small compared to other displays that I'm sure most people missed it. The Star of David belonged to a 14-year-old boy in 1942, when France was under the Vichy government and Nazi regime. During this time, Jews in France were being arrested, deported, and isolated from society. A total of 73,000 Jews were deported from France to Auschwitz. 11,000 of them were children, only 2,500 survived. I couldn't help but wonder what happened to this young boy. What was his story? Was his home invaded? Was he separated from his family? Did he survive? To me, this small case didn't serve his story justice. The museum allowed us to explore at our own pace. As we ended our visit, we stopped briefly at the gift shop where there were dozens of books and keepsakes. We then ventured to the museum's cafe. Over a sprawled-out Paris map and a few cafes à la crèmes, we discussed our favorite parts of the museums and where we were going next. There were different aspects that appealed to us most. Sarah Monnier, a junior in the media school, joked about her struggle in the Charles de Gaulle exhibit, which hadn't translated over to English yet. And I showed the group pictures I was planning on using in my blog. Once everyone filed in and drank their coffees, we all headed outside for a group selfie before our walk back. The beauty of this museum was that we all connected differently. Musée des Armées allowed us to witness art and history and appreciate France's past, no matter the era.